Hello, welcome to the channel. You join me today in the Defender. Might be a bit noisy. If it is, I apologise. Our issue today is Discovery 2 non-start. Turning over, but we've got no starting. So I'm going to go and find out what's wrong with it and see if we can get it to start. I'm trying to get out of this street, but the bin men are behind me, so I'm hoping that they move so I can get out. Anyhow, I never say anyhow. Anyway, so Discovery Well start. First thing to check is all your fuses. So under the bonnet there's a relay and some fuses. So the first thing to check is those. Is there any fuses for this in that box, or
Sorry?
is there any fuses for this inside?
No, the only one inside is to the sender, to the, tell you whether you've got any fuel.
Oh yeah. So you just go in there and check fuel pump. Which one's the fuel pump?
It is this one.
So that's the fuel pump relay there.
Yeah.
And is there a fuse to it? There is out there. Is it a big one?
Yeah, I checked it.
30 amp 1E?
Yeah.
One of them 30 amp ones anyway, so you can check them fuses down there as well. So first thing to do is check all them fuses, the fuse and the relay, make sure they're working. The next thing to do is what we showed you in the previous button, that inertia switch over there. Yeah, press that, because if your battery's been flat or anything like that and the inertia switch has gone off, then it'll stop the car from starting. It'll turn over but it won't go. The next thing to check is when you put your key in, make sure that your immobiliser light there goes off, because you don't want that on, because that'll also stop it from starting. And then the final thing to check, this is if the car's turning over and turning over and turning over. The final thing to check is put your key in, turn it on, get your ear in the boot and listen on the boot floor and see if you can hear the fuel pump running. If the fuel pump's not running and you've checked all that stuff in there, odds are the fuel pump's had it. So that's what we think it is on this one. So we're going to replace the fuel pump on this one and see if it'll go. We showed you in a previous video where the fuel pump is. It's in the boot under the carpet. Hello. There. You may have to cut a piece out your carpet like that, because it's difficult to get it from the chairs on a 7-seater. Take your screws out, undo the cap which is on the top, and then you've got these
plug.
Yeah, you've got a plug and then them that clip out, and then the fuel pump just comes out of that hole. We've just bought an aftermarket fuel pump which is 80 quid plus VAT. They tend to be a bit noisier, but they'll work. So I'm going to put one of them in here, so we'll do that now. Here is the pump. Like I said, this is an aftermarket one from the local parts supplier, and it looks very similar to the original one. We've had one of these in the past, but it tended to be a bit noisy, so we replaced it with the one that's just been took out. How long do you reckon that one was in that's been took out? It's been in over a year, eh?
Yeah, a couple of years I would say, but that was a used one.
It was a used one. It's lasted a couple of years, so it ain't done bad. It would have been about 50 or 60 quid. At least this one's got a guarantee. So hopefully it all works as it should. We'll put it in and see what happens. I think the OEM one, what was it, £180 plus VAT?
Yeah.
So it's extra 100 quid. So it's worth chucking this one in. That's your float, to show you how much fuel you've got, which works on this little resistance strip here. And then these are colour coded to these here. Have we got a white one? 2 black ones. We've got a green and a blue one. But I mean, if you leave them sort of where they're meant to be anyway, it just goes in. And you've got a seal as well, which is there.
No.
So we can put that in. The hardest thing to do is to get that ring on and seat. We've been trying to find the tool, but nobody's got one. I did ask in the parts place again, and they still ain't got one.
I did actually mark it this time before I unscrewed it. I marked it there.
Yeah, because you got marks all round here. You got like 3 little ends there, but there's a thread on it, and there's these little like notches round there, and it's difficult once you've got the pump in there. You've got the pump's on a spring, so you have to pull push the pump down on these springs here.
Yeah.
And then put some weight on that and twist it. You don't twist that far, but if you don't get it on right, it jumps off and hammers all fuel into the top of your tank there, and you think you're doing 10 miles to the gallon when it's just piddling fuel out.
And this is a right-hand thread, not a left-hand
Yeah.
thread, so it's nothing difficult, it's just locating.
Yeah. So we'll get this pump in the hole and we'll see if we can locate it. Unfortunately, I couldn't show you the non-start on this, that it was just turning over, because when I got it, my dad already took the fuel pump out, because that's what he'd decided it was. So couldn't show you that, unfortunately, but it just turned over. So put the seal up over the bottom of the pump. Like so. And then you just have to tuck this into the hole before you put the pump in. You don't want to rip it off.
These are a bit stiff, these things.
Yeah. To get them out, you just squeeze the little clips with the pliers, don't you?
Yeah, it's easy to use this type of pliers.
You've got these in, Dad, you've got to get them out.
Yeah, better squeeze them in there, like that.
And then you just pull the thing out.
And they're just safety ones, aren't they? So put these in, connect.
Yeah, you can connect them now.
I'm glad that they fall in now.
Do you want to put this over before you put them in?
Yeah. I've never had one of them fall out there like that before.
Are they meant to come out?
No, they've got they're stuck in. Oh no,
No, they come out as well, because these clip in there. So the whole thing's got to come out.
Let's take these out first. Yeah.
Them out. So then you've got to put this ring over the top before you start joining up your things.
It's sitting on the bottom there, because now it has to be pushed down, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you can locate it before putting them things in if you want, or put them in after, whatever. But you just need to get this ring over the top first.
Ring-a-ding-ding.
Yeah, it ain't easy. It's an absolute nightmare to see to, and that's why we've been trying to get hold of the tool, because we've had a few of these out lately. I'll hold this down. That's it. So the ring's over there now. So all we've got to do is put some force on that to hold it down, and then twist this once it's in line. Like I said, we've made a mark there.
Yeah, we need to find that mark.
And we've made a mark on here somewhere.
No, it's on the there's a line on the side there.
Oh, there's a little arrow there. Or a little dimple. There. So there's a mark there, we line it with that mark there, and that should be where it needs to be to go on. Sometimes it goes on first crack of the whip, is that way?
Yeah.
Sometimes it don't, and it takes 15 minutes to get on. We've been in a position where one's been forcing it down, the other one's been turning it, and we've had 4 people in there. But we might have to do this off camera, because we might need 2 of us.
Yeah, it's going to hold it down and
there you have it. It's got a new seal. When you've got a brand new seal, you've got to squash that seal down, so it needs a bit of force on it to to squash it down, which sometimes needs 2 people if you have got the correct tool.
Yeah.
If you've got the correct tool, it puts a load on the whole thing. But we'll do that and come back. Right, it's finally in. It takes a right nightmare without the correct tool to get that in. It's a bit of a faff to get it down there. There is a mark on it and it starts around here. So find the mark that's on this, which is a little dimple, start it around here, then work it way around. It goes round quite far. The dimple goes all the way around until you get to that point, and then it should be locked into position. And then we'll put these back in, and then we're going to have to prime it, and then we'll try and start it.
Make sure these are locked in.
Yeah, because we've had them blow out in the past. Yeah, they're all the way in.
Yeah.
Make sure they're pushed all the way into the pump.
They have to lock the lock in place.
That one don't want to go in.
This is.
There we go. So then I'm all in.
Plug.
So when we plug that in now, we should hear this fuel pump run. If we don't, we're just going to chuck a match in the tank and walk off.
We hate my car.
So we're going to turn the ignition on now, and we'll see if we get any noise coming from this. We will have to turn the ignition on to bleed it anyway, so it will be very noisy to start with because it's going to be full of air. Oh, we got the keys. Standard. It's going to find the keys, and then we'll try it. I've got my good shoes on today, so we have this wall planned. Go. Oh, that's the noisy one, yeah?
Yeah, I can hear it.
So that is the fuel pump priming. We've got no leaks around these areas, and you would have a leak when it starts priming simply because it is forcing fuel up through these pipes to the injectors and to the return pipe. So you'd have a leak if it was going to leak. It'd be leaking now, and we can't see one. So we'll leave it on for a bit just to prime, and then we'll give it a go and see if it starts. Been priming for a bit, so we'll give it a go. It might start, it might not. Should I move my tea off the engine? Hang on. What are you going to smash your foot to the floor and try? Oh, it's going to go. There we go. So it was definitely the fuel pump. Let's see how noisy this one is. That one's quiet, that is as well. It's ain't noisy. So that's an aftermarket one, tie noisy, that's nice. We've got no leaks, more sweet. You can hear it up close, but with the carpet over you won't hear that. Ticking over nice, so there you go, fuel pump, nice and easy job. Just put a date aside to put that in there. But yeah, when that panel's over and the carpet's down, you won't hear that pump. The one that was in there was getting noisy though, or it was getting noisier and noisier, you could hear it. So it was on its last legs.
It was getting, first thing of the morning, when it was cold, even though we've got the globe up, it was
harder and harder to start.
A couple of times and it to fire up. And this car never does that.
It starts the first time though. It sounds a bit like my Defender. Sometimes it's starting, sometimes it ain't starting. Sometimes I'm smashing my foot to the floor and then I get a puff of white smoke. So I'm hoping it ain't my fuel pump in that, because it's a mechanical fuel pump and it ain't as simple as this. It works off the time of the engine and it's an absolute nightmare from what I've read. So
we'll paint this one.
Yeah. At least your boot ain't floor out rust there.
No.
Very unrusty car this is. Hey?
Yeah. Never
had any welding on it.
No.
So them are normally like they've been at the bottom of the sea, ain't they?
Yeah.
It's normally like been in David Jones' locker.
No, sometimes you've got to chisel them off.
Yeah. So that ain't too bad. Right. Another job completed. Please like and subscribe. Please comment below and share, and we'll continue to make videos. What do we say?
Like and subscribe.
The little flies and back, look. Struggle to see them on the camera, but there's tons of them. Tons and tons of them. Yeah. There they are, look. Them landing on the car. Loads of them. You know why they keep coming and going, Dad? Hear them? Yeah, like little bits of ash out there. Loads on them. If there's a David Bellamy out there, you can tell us what they're on. Goodbye.